Hello, it's me again, Sigrid Cast, book writing, publishing, and marketing specialist. And in this video, I want to share with you what it means to know what the publishing part or the publishing phase of writing your book entails, and also how highly connected all three phases of writing a book are. The writing, the publishing, and the marketing are absolutely interconnected. And the moment you take them apart and look at each one separately, you are losing out on the power of your book. And here is why. So I went out a couple of days ago and into a bookstore. Not something I do much these days, but I had a gift voucher. So I went to a bookstore and I got myself this particular book here. So I want to use this as an example of something that you really want to know about publishing, using a publisher as opposed to or versus publishing it yourself, knowing what goes into the publishing process and taking charge, taking control of it yourself. So first of all, the title of this particular book, The Ayurveda Kitchen. It is not a specific title. Kitchen does not necessarily mean recipes, and it doesn't necessarily mean home remedies of some kind, but that's exactly what's in this book. It's a mixture, a combination of actual recipes, and then there's a lot of home remedy and information about herbs, other plants, and things like salt and how to use it, honey, how to use it in helping yourself with colds and different things like that. So it does go beyond being a recipe book. So I understand that they wanted to have a title that conveys that, but it doesn't really, because the subtitle, which is the part that if your title is a little bit broader like this one, then you could at least in the subtitle make it very clear that you are finding both home remedies or specific herbs and spices being used in the Ayurvedic kitchen, as well as recipes. So it's not quite doing that. That is one. So the title itself. Now the title for a book, when you let it be published for you, quite often the publisher, depending on who you choose, may change, and in some cases totally changes the title of your book. And here's the reason why. They change the title so that they know or can roughly estimate that they are going to make the book sales, because the publisher will be interested to make the book sales and make the money for themselves. That's first and foremost what they are looking at, make the money for themselves. So they would change your book title quite likely to whatever they feel is the better, the more broad appeal or appeal to their already readers list. So that is possibly what's happened here. That's the title. Now, the next thing is the topic of this book. As I just said, it's actually a combination of recipes, diet, the Ayurvedic diet, and then herbs and spices used in that particular diet and lifestyle. So when you have something like that, a book with such a across topic categories, then it makes it difficult to choose where you're going to find it, where the reader is going to find it. I happen to find it in the diet and cooking and recipe section, this particular book. I wasn't particularly looking for that. It's just that, it just caught my eye. So your book will not be a cookbook or anything to do with food. I know that. You're going to be writing about what you do. And as an expert or the authority on your particular field of expertise, whether that is coaching and money mindset, coaching for people who want to go into a different job, perhaps coming away from a job and going into their own business, or whether that is coaching in the health and wellness area. Be aware that when you write your book, that you are specific in your title and the topic, so know which category it wants to go into. This was quite, or I would say this is confusing. If you had this book online and people are searching for recipes, it may or may not come up. And so it might or might not get seen in the same way. In a physical bookstore, that's of course very different. So you have got very clearly defined categories and sections there. So having a publisher publish your book, they may change the title to suit their purposes to make sales that they anticipate to make. They will also put the book into what they decide is the right category, and that is where the book will be found by their readership. So what that means for you, whoever the author is here of this particular one, or any book that goes to a publisher, you are under contract more or less to the publisher. They have the main say, and usually they actually keep quite a lot of rights as well. Again, it depends on who it is. Now, the biggest thing that I was surprised about in this particular book was it is a cookbook. There are recipes in here, but the actual font that they have chosen in here, the way they have formatted this book on the inside, it's formatted with graphics and actual photos. So they were trying to make it obviously look appealing by color, by design. And I often have people ask me, the formatting, that's important. I want to have my pages look like this, and I want to have the chapter, the start of a chapter like this, and I want to have fancy here and fancy there. Well, here's the important thing to know about that. This particular book, the way they're formatted on the inside for visual appeal, does not appeal to me because I can't read half of it. It's very, very small font that they've used. It is a clear font, an Arial or something, but it is very small, and they've chosen in a lot of sections a gray colored font. So it doesn't stand out on their soft colored background on those pages at all. So formatting is part of marketing your book, because if I physically see it and I can't really read it, and it just is too colorful and difficult to see the colors on the page and see the text on the page. Sometimes people want to have cursive writing, or they want to have old style writing or letters in there. It's not easily readable. Do you want people to have a visual image, or do you want them to read the book? It's very important to consider before you go down the path of formatting the book, or leaving it to somebody like a publisher to format it for you. And lastly, the point I want to make in this video is that when you think about writing your book and you have the idea, you want to inspire other people, you want to share your knowledge, but you want particularly to inspire other people, and you want to share what you know with them so that they can take a course of action that might not be as rocky as yours might have been. That is that inspirational part you want to bring in there. So the part about that is, firstly, just inspiration all on its own is not really something you can bring into a format that it appeals to a specific group of people. Thinking that a book appeals to everybody is not the best way to look at it. You really want to make sure you have a readership. So I'm assuming for this particular book, the readership is people who are interested in Ayurveda, possibly. The thing is that when you know what your book is to be about, and if you are in business, you want to make it very specific about your business expertise and share your knowledge and expertise in a way that your experience is in there, but it doesn't take over the book, that your experience is interlocked in the book with your knowledge and your method of how you work with people, so that the people are reading it attracted to you because you can solve their issues. And you're describing that in your book in a way that your story is intertwined, woven into the chapters. That is how I work with clients, with people who get my help. We make it very, very specific to you, your business, and what outcome you want to achieve with your book. And the reason you want to know about publishing and marketing before you start writing, or at least at the time you start writing, is very simply, so you do not have to hand your book over to a publisher who takes over and does whatever they like to because they want to make a return on it, but so that you write your book the way that it serves you, that you publish the book again in a way that it serves you, that you have all control over it and details over it. So when you're working with me, that means you are publishing your book very simple and straightforward on Amazon, and you're publishing it in both versions, the Kindle and the print version. So both books are ready at the same time. And the formatting is straightforward. Focus on the reader being able to read your book. You want them to get that inspiration from reading your words, not from colorful, lots of pictures and graphics on the inside. That is probably, in my opinion, much more suited to a workbook. That would be a more suitable type of a book to put that in. So if you want a book for people to inspire them, get to know you, share your story, and make a real impact with your book, then you want to know that at the start, but you also want to know that the publishing part is going to come. It'll be simple and you have control and access to all parts of your own book, whether that is, you know, re-uploading it very quickly because you've changed something, whether you want to change something on your cover in the Amazon publishing platform, you can do that simply and there is no cost involved. So that's what that part is. And the marketing, of course, is, you know, once an actual publisher has taken charge of your book, and often there is a very old-fashioned idea amongst authors in the business world, the business style authors, that think the publisher will do the marketing for them. Well, there is a little bit. They will, as is the case here, they will make sure that this book is in their catalogs and it is in their online email list, it is in their online platform, that people can buy it online and so on. And they may or may not bring it through their list into email and say this book, or, you know, have a little blurb about it and so on. But that's about as far as it goes. The rest is that they have it in the shop, in the physical shop, and that people can get it. They will still tell the author to go about promoting their book themselves. Now, with this particular type here, let's say this person who wrote this book actually is an Ayurvedic practitioner, and she works with clients on health matters and remedies, or herbs, for example, then this is not a good choice for her, because this book, in this publisher world where she published it, it actually goes under. If she'd have published this herself, she could now really attach herself to it, talk about what she's written in her book, use this content here for every other content she's putting out there online. And she's always going to be synonymous with the book. What the book title and topic is who she is the expert on. That is how the book writing, publishing, and marketing is interconnected, woven into each other. That is the path I take you on when you get my help to work with me. That's what I wanted to share with you for today. So writing, publishing, and marketing is all intertwined. Any questions, pop them underneath the this video and I shall answer them for you.